Hey there, comic book fans. I am back from another trip to the comic shop this week. Got 4 comics this week, all off my pull list. Though one of them's number 1. But first, let me show you the comic that I've got just for its cover, sitting out on my top of my printer so I can look at it. I think I may have had this one out recently. I mean, sometime in the last 2 years. I don't even remember. Now, this is a Marvel 10th anniversary cover. It's in the box. And it's a Herb Trimpe Ant-Man cover. I just kind of like that one. Ant-Man picking up that nail for the guy to step on. What kind of superpower is that? Well, if you step over here, you'll step on this nail. But cool stuff. I like the cover. Was it Peter Parker on there too? Special first issue guest starring the one and only Peter Parker. Mighty Marvel's own wall-crawling wonder. You know what? I don't think I've ever read that burst, even though I've had this comic for a while. There you go. A little look at the Marvel feature number 4 presents the Astonishing Ant-Man. Then the free stuff I got, let's see, these DC, I guess these are their pre-order forms. Well, they've got posters on the back, so that's cool. Catwoman hugging Batman. All right. And we got another pre-order form. I don't know if these are from 2 different months or what. A little Batman black and white action. Let's see, who drew that one? Oh, the phone is ringing. Let me hit mute. Alright, it stopped. I got a sneeze button on my mic so I can hit mute. I don't know who drew this, though. I'm still looking. I don't see a signature. Lots of Batman-y lines, though. And then what do we have? We've got the Vault of Cerebus. And it's funny, he puts, this is number 1657 of 2017. It says so right there. And the last issue of this that came out, Cerebus Penis, which was a parody of the Batman Black Label book, actually had 3,300 or something copies, so that one sold more than any of them have in a while. I think these Cerebus, besides those of us who buy it to read it, which I think there's only about 1,500 of us, everybody else buys it for the cover if they're buying it. So like this one, I would assume that like 500 extra people bought this for the cover. And for the Batman Penis one, I assume that 1,500 extra people bought it for the cover, because not that many sell if the cover isn't something a parody of something popular. So that's kind of interesting. Then we've got Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing, and the Black Widow. This was an early issue, right? Number 4 or something? No, number 10? Number 10. There's the original cover. Thing and the Black Widow. This being Black Widow month, they've got all... I think they had another True Believer of like the Black Widow, the new one from like 15 years ago in number 1. Who did this? Bob Brown and Klaus Janson with Chris Claremont writing it. All right. Ooh, there's a gloomy-faced Black Widow right there. I don't know if I've ever read this issue. I mean, I was never a huge Bob Brown fan, so I don't think I ever read this issue. I had some of these early Marvel 2-in-1s. I think I started collecting Marvel 2-in-1, I don't know, in the 20s. And there was a really good run with George Perez, the Project Pegasus stuff that DeFalco and... who was it? Ralph Macchio and Tom DeFalco were writing a lot of it, and George Perez was drawing a lot of it. That was around in the 40s. That was my favorite of the Marvel 2-in-1s. Let's see, what else do we have here? Our 3rd out of 4 is Adler, number 5. Right, that's number 5. And it's funny, I'm in the habit of reading my comics twice before I put them away. I usually read them within a few days of buying them, and then I put them in I keep them in my to be read pile, and then I read them like a week or maybe 2 weeks later before I file them away. And I read the last issue of Adler number 4, and I found it kind of choppy. But then I just read it again, I think yesterday or the day, a couple days ago. And I read it faster. Maybe it was because I already knew kind of what was happening and I didn't pay attention as closely. But it read a lot better when I read it faster. So I found that interesting because that rarely happens. But it's a League of Extraordinary Gentlewomen comic. Irene Adler from the Sherlock Holmes stories. So I'm enjoying it. And I like the art too. I said the art is a cross between Robert Crumb and Disney. But I'm enjoying it. And then the last thing I got is something unusual for me. I picked up The Last Ronin. This is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin #1. It's $9 in square bound, which I usually stay away from. But I just kind of got interested in it. This is some story that I've never been a Turtles fan. I was a little too old for the Turtles when they first hit. I bought some of their comics in the late 80s, the black and white stuff, and it was okay. That was before the big toy boom. But I never really got into collecting it. But just this kind of story kind of intrigued me. And I didn't have much on my pull list today. So I actually pre-ordered this because I heard these are hard to get. There's more demand for them than they expected. So I think that it's hard to get. But it's the story. It's The Last Ronin. I think they said he's the last of it takes place in the future. He's the last of the 4 turtles alive. And he's coming back to the city for revenge or something. And I think it was started a year ago with one artist. And then that artist didn't get the job done or something happened where they had to hire another artist to do it. But I think Eastman and Laird are writing it. Yeah, story, Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird, and Tom Waltz. Script, Tom Waltz and Kevin Eastman. Layouts, Kevin Eastman. Pencils and inks, Esau and Isaac Escorza. All right, page 39 art, Ben Bishop. Color assistance by Samuel. Okay. There's a bunch of covers in there, too. But I haven't put the whole thing on my pull list yet. Final order cutoff for issue 2 hasn't come out. So I figure if I like this one, I'll put the whole thing on. Because otherwise, paying $9 a comic isn't really my scene. But we'll see how it is. I'll let you know. The Last Ronin, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. As let's see if you can win over a non-Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. Now let me show you a little of the art I've been doing. This is the one I just finished yesterday. My Dreams of Things 97. I'm closing in on having done 100 of these. Penciled, inked, and then colored in marker right on the board. I print out the logos right on the board, so these are in printer ink, so they're a little lighter. But this was a strange one. It's almost all background. There's so much background to it, and so I put a bit more shading and colors in their face than I usually do. But that was kind of cool. I don't even know if I have. I think I may have the 100th one penciled, but I'm not even sure. I don't remember. But I've also been doing I did some little. I didn't do a big ink drawing this week, so I've been working on some little ink drawings and some colors. So I haven't done these in a couple of weeks since I've been working on the big ink drawings. That's been taking up my time. So I switched over to some little ink drawings. I'm not sure what this one is. Some kind of crazy landscape. There's a building with a face. I bet that could be a superhero headquarters. But there you go. 4 comics. An old comic cover to show. Some artwork. And you guys have a good week out there.